Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue au Stoneleigh P, un bar emblématique de Dallas, au Texas. J'ai la chance d'être avec le propriétaire et sa fille. Il a 83 ans. Ce n'est pas rien. Il est encore ici, parfois même sans les clients. On est un lundi après-midi. Il fait beau, il fait chaud. L'ambiance, elle est légère jusqu'à temps que l'ambiance soit encore plus achalandée vers 3 heures où les clients du 4 à 7 vont arriver. Bonne écoute sur cet épisode en direct du Stoneleigh, Dallas. My first question would going to be, what inspired you to decide one day to open this place?
Um, we were we were drinking in a bar with spit wads on the top on the ceiling. They take napkins and put these terrible things up on the ceiling. It was a disgusting bar. It had one burger and it was just beer. That's all. And we said we can do better than this. So we built with some other guys, I built a small little place for $10,000. So we did one of our own within 6 blocks of here,
This is another, his first bar. He's talking about his first bar.
and I had partners there, and they forced me out because we started arguing over a fondue restaurant that I didn't want to do. So then I started my own. I found this old drugstore. Well, actually, we had a vacancy next door, and they said, "Gosh, it'd be a lot easier to make a bar out of the drugstore." So we had to come up with a name, and it had a neon sign just like that. We built that for $22,000.
$22,000 in 1973?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Jimmy Carter came to our place in 74. We wanted to be a bar about artists. We wanted the artists and the photographers and the models and all the unique people in Dallas. Dallas was a very conservative town, very, um, money, all money. So I wanted the counterculture here. I wanted it. That's why it was kept down to earth. That's why we wanted it to be the local people and creative artists. Love it.
That's I love the fact that you, because I think as an entrepreneur, or I teach my godson about being rise high to be sure to have value about what you're gonna attract. So if you just, oh, I'm just gonna open a bar, I'm gonna just go find a place, buy beer, and I'm gonna open a bar. No, you had in mind, I want the artist, like the la crème de la crème coming to my place. So I think that's the way we should do.
My jukebox had a one row of classical music.
Oh.
It had Beethoven's Ninth. We had Enrico Caruso singing. We had Ella Fitzgerald on the next line of wonderful jazz. And then we did real country and western, the classic country and western, not Nashville. And we did our version of rock and roll of that time, the Stones and all that. But each row had a different era. Classical music back to the 1600s. A guy across the street, Herschel Bernardi, was in a musical here, came across and sang along with Caruso on my jukebox. I love it.
What was the most significant souvenir that you have with this kind of a guest that you had?
Jimmy Cartier was really something because he came in and said, "I'm a peanut farmer and I'm running for president," and everybody laughed, but gave him a little bit of money. I took him to the airport in my old van, and I said, "Don't worry about my vote. I'm a kamikaze liberal. Just get my dad's vote. He's an oil man. He's a Baptist and he wants to vote for you." And he did. He came to Channel 13.
Yes.
And my friend from Oklahoma said, "Meet him there, and I want you at least to have 20 or 30 people. He wants to run for president." And I laughed and I said, "Well, I'm for somebody else." He said, "I don't care. Just have somebody here." And so
Did you succeed to bring in people?
one black, one Chicano lead. These are leaders, one congressman, one labor leader, and then about 5 or 6 Republicans, and they all laughed and they all gave him $20 or so he could get back to Atlanta.
So you helped a man who was representing a part of politics that you don't believe in.
Well, he's very moderate, and two, he's a governor of Georgia, but I said I'll vote for you because we don't have a chance otherwise, you know. So it worked, and they got invited. All those people got invited to the inaugural, but I didn't. That's fine. I wouldn't have gone.
So tell us more about the creation of the place.
We had $1 drinks. $1.
It was
expensive drink.
at that time, no? Okay,
No,
please remind me, in 1973, how much it cost to have a cheeseburger or a breakfast?
$2, $2.50 a burger, about $2.50. The dollar drinks and so 35-cent drop beer.
You have to build with old building. Did you find anything crazy, like when you take out walls or something like that because what did you find?
When they abandoned it, they left the bathrooms there, and there was a dishwasher over here or something. And in the wall was a hole in the ladies' room, and the women, these black girls knew not to flush their tampons down the toilet. They instead put them in the wall. So we kept pulling them out of the wall.
I have chills all over my body, but we know the smell. So how come people were that drunk?
No. The plumbing, they knew not to do.
I know, but the tampon smells so bad. How come they never know?
No, that had long gone.
No, I mean you, but at that time, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. What's that smell?
Well, we had our own deodorants.
But bear in mind that if you are an entrepreneur and you have lease, you have to go deep in your lease to be sure to be protected with many ways. Do you have any advice you give to young entrepreneur about leasing? Do you think they should lease or they should own?
If you can own it all, do that. I only bought one of my restaurants initially, and it was 50,000, and we sold for 500,000.
You had many restaurants. I didn't know that.
19.
Okay, je savais pas.
How about Monaco? I invested in one in Monaco, in south of France. Yeah, on the Riviera.
So, but what was your first restaurant that you opened?
Very first one was called J. Alfred's, about 6 blocks from here. That's the one we spent $10,000 on.
Okay, so what was your first job? Did you ever have a job or always entrepreneur?
I went to an old millionaire in Oklahoma City. I'm from Oklahoma City. And I said, I don't want to be here, but I need to go somewhere. I need to know what to do because I have this liberal arts degree. I don't know what to do. He says, you need to go to Atlanta and sell used cars. I said, how about real estate in Dallas? And he says, great. Don't go to Houston. Bam, bam, bam advice.
I love the fact that you bring on to the table to have a plan. And if you don't know your plan, find somebody who can find you a plan. And never have, what do you think about this advice? Never take advice from anyone that doesn't have the life that you dream to have.
You know, there's too much emphasis on money. You really need to do something that makes you happy so you can be inspired to do it. I just hope she stays inspired because she's my savior. I don't have to worry about the future because of her.
I have to tell you, Laura, that I'm really impressed by you. I'm going to get emotional a little bit because I never thought this interview was going to go this way, but I just realized how much we have in common because I had a father entrepreneur, but it was so much artistic and um, spontaneous. I think your dad have more business mindset. That's why he go through many years with many enterprise businesses. So I'm really impressed by the fact that you're still there and you take the business. So you can be proud of yourself because I know what it is. That's really impressive. Yeah. Do you have any advice that you want to share about trying not to have the 9 to 5 job, but just being an entrepreneur? But that's not the truth. That is easy, huh?
No, it's not. It's all the time around the clock.
You're still married?
No.
No.
She's 20 years younger, and if we'd had separate houses, we would still be married. That's all it takes. Separate houses.
I think women have less hobbies than men, so they're always gonna go like in the guy's life. They're gonna like really like forget about themselves and forget about who they are and just like stick to their man.
Not this one.
Not that.
She is strong, and she doesn't need a man. Where's your sister?
She's in Quebec City, Stoneham. It's a place where a ski mountain is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved Quebec. I loved Quebec.
When did you came to Quebec?
It was our honeymoon. Well, she was pregnant, and we had our honeymoon in reverse. And it was the kiss of spring in Montreal. We flew into Montreal, and people had their shirts off, and they were in the sun. It was only about 60 degrees, but the Express is a bistro called Le Express.
Did you ever been to Quebec City?
Oh, we drove over there. We drove over there, and then I went to those lakes down by on the way into New Hampshire, and we went to Vermont. We went to Ben and Jerry's in Vermont, and then we drove back to Montreal to fly back.
What do you remember about my city in Quebec?
The beautiful hotel. We stayed across the street in a bed and breakfast like thing, and so we could go visit the hotel like you do.
Which one, the Chateau Frontenac?
Oh yeah, of course. What a view down that beautiful. Oh,
And do you remember what you eat there back there?
I did not have poontang or whatever it is. I did not have that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the grocery store and I can build you a poutine. I should do that. I know how to do it.
Gravy and what?
I know how to make the gravy. You have to use chicken fat when you cook the chicken, and you mix a barbecue sauce and hot chicken sauce together, and you need cheese curd and crispy home fries,
Yeah.
fresh.
Do we have to do that along with our grilled cheese, with our cheese?
Can we call the poutine Priscilla on the menu and I can have like return money, like $1 pie poutine that you sell is going to be on my in my account?
We're going to have to perfect it before we have you back for it.
I'm just going to have to try to make it. I'm going to make it for you. I'm going to teach you guys. Est-ce qu'on devrait leur faire une poutine ici au Stoneleigh? Ça serait fou. Un attrait touristique, a tourist attraction, come to Stoneleigh, have the best poutine from Quebec ever, from the wife of Elvis, Priscilla. So I wanted to know, for my curiosity and the people watching, you knew and you met many celebrities. What a crazy story, except the president, that you can share with us about celebrity that people know and came to your place.
Well, one time there was this beautiful model came in, sat down at the bar. So I brought her the magazine of Texas and D magazine. I said, "Do you want to go have food later?" "Yes." I said, "Mexican food. We'll try this Mexican food place." She said, "I'll be back at 6." I waited and I waited, and she came in about 7:30 or 8. She says, "I am so sorry. I got kidnapped by this guy named Larry Mahan. This cowboy on a motorcycle wouldn't let me. I didn't know who to call. I couldn't call you about it. I'm so sorry. We're going to have to break the date. I have a shoot tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning." And so Larry Mahan stole my date. Later on, that woman was on the cover of Vogue. She was the woman that married Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones. forgotten her name.
But she had the decency to came to you to explain the situation because this thing was not there, you know?
No, it's funny. My date with Keith Richards' wife folded that day, and I would wonder. And he's the best of all those guys. I mean, everybody loves his new biography.
What advice you going to give the world about being an entrepreneur? Because the question with that is going to be, with all the people that you met all your life, which kind of life you find people happier? Having a job 9 to 5 or being an entrepreneur businessman? Which categories are the more happier?
No question. No question. It's so wonderful to be able to say that building would work. Let's do that building as a restaurant. There's one in Taos, New Mexico, on the square. I swear it's a drugstore in turquoise walls, and the lunch counter is there ready to go. But it's a t-shirt shop. And it'd be so easy to move the t-shirts out of there. And oh, Ricky said he'd run it too.
So his reply to the question, which categories are more happier, is he explained a new business creation in his mind. So I think we got the answer.
So my name is Richard Garrison, but I go by Tom, and I love having two names and two different personalities. One's business and the other's not taking yourself too serious and having fun. I'm over 80, but that's the way it goes.
I think the soul have no age, but the age have experience.
Yeah.
And that's what give us everything that you gave us today. And I will thank you so much, deep from my heart, to give me some time to have you on my podcast.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. Merci, Laura. Thank you.